All the children at Park School chose their favourite soup. The graph shows the results. How many more children chose chicken soup than mushroom soup? So, to understand this bar chart, we need to know what each of these little lines represents. And to get from 0 to 50, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines, and 50 divided by 5 is 10. So each little line is an increase of 10. So if we look for chicken soup, we have 10 before 100, so that's 90. And then for mushroom soup, we have 50, 60, and our line is halfway between 70 and 80, so that's 75. Now the question asks how many more, so we need to find the difference, and we do that using subtraction. 90 minus 75 is 15, so that means 15 more children chose chicken soup than mushroom soup. Now, Robbie says more than half of the children chose tomato soup. Is he correct? Explain how you can tell from the graph. So if we look at tomato soup, we have 100, 110, 120, 130, and it's halfway between 130 and 140, so that's 135 children choosing tomato soup. If we add how many children there are altogether, 135 plus 90 plus 75, and we might need to use column addition here, but that will give us 300. Now half of 300 is 150. 300 divided by 2 is 150. So Robbie is wrong. Only 135 children chose tomato soup, and that's less than half of all the children together. Here is part of a number grid. Here is another part of the same grid. Write in the missing number. So we need to find this number here, but we know that the number above and to the right is 95. Now if we go down and to the left, we can see from our chart that we add 3. So 3 plus 3 is 6, and that rule applies no matter where on the chart we are. So for example, 12 plus 3 is 15, or 10 plus 3 is 13. So we just need to work out 95 plus 3. So our answer is 98. And then we can check, because if we go down and to the right, we add 5. So 6 plus 5 is 11. And again, that works no matter where we are on the chart. So if we're here at 13 and we go down and right, we get to 18. And that makes sense because 98 plus 5 is 103. So we can be confident that we've got the right answer. Here are 3 supermarket bills. Tom rounds each bill to the nearest £10 and then adds them up. What is the total amount that Tom gets? So the first bill comes to £74.68. So to the nearest £10, that's £70, because that amount is closer to £70 than it is to £80, and Tom is rounding to the nearest £10. Now we have £65.90, so that's closer to £70 than it is to £60, and then £59 5 pence is closer to £60 than to £50. So if we add those up, those rounded numbers, we get £200. Now Mary adds up the 3 bills exactly. What is the difference between her total and Tom's total? So first, we need to find her total when she adds up the bills exactly. So we can add £74.68 plus £65.90, and then we can add the third bill. So we can use column addition, and adding the first 2 bills gives us £140.58. So if we add another £59 5 pence, that gives us a total of £199.63. But the question says what is the difference? So we need to find the difference between £200 and £199.63. So the difference is 37 pence, because if we have another 37 pence, that will take us to £200. Megan says if two rectangles have the same perimeter, they must have the same area. Is she correct? Explain how you know. So remember, the perimeter is the total distance around the outside of a shape, and the area is the amount of stuff inside it, or the amount of space that it takes up. So Mary is wrong, and for explain how you know questions, if someone is wrong, all you need to do to explain is give an example. So let's say we have a rectangle like this. A rectangle with a length of 6 centimetres and a width of 1 centimetre has a perimeter of 14 centimetres, because 6 plus 1 plus 6 plus 1 is 14, and an area of 6 centimetres squared, because to find the area of a rectangle we multiply the width by the length, and 1 times 6 is 6. But if we have a rectangle like this, a rectangle with a length of 5 centimetres and a width of 2 centimetres has a perimeter of 14 centimetres, because 5 plus 2 plus 5 plus 2 is 14, but an area of 10 centimetres squared, because 2 times 5 is 10. So here we have rectangles with the same perimeter, but they do not have the same area. So Megan is wrong. Emma thinks of two prime numbers. She adds the two numbers together. Her answer is 36. Write all the possible pairs of prime numbers Emma could be thinking of. So remember, a prime number is a number with only two factors. It's only in the 1 times table and its own times table, not in any other times tables. So if we write the prime numbers that are less than 36, we have these numbers here. And to make sure we understand what prime numbers are, 13 is a prime number because it's only in the 1 times table and the 13 times table. 17 is only in the 1 times table and the 17 times table, and so on. So we need to think of all the possible combinations that give a total of 36. So we could have 5 and 31. We could have 7 and 29. We could have 13 and 23. Or we could have 17 and 19. A gardener plants tulip bulbs in a flower bed. She plants 3 red bulbs for every 4 white bulbs. She plants 60 red bulbs. How many white bulbs does she plant? So we know that she plants 3 red for every 4 white, and that she plants 60 red altogether. So we need to think 3 times what is 60? Well, 60 divided by 3 is 20, so 3 times 20 is 60, and if we work out 4 times 20, so multiply by the same amount, 4 times 20 is 80, so she plants 80 white bulbs. Write in what the missing numbers could be. So we have a calculation with brackets, and when we see brackets, we do what's in the brackets first. So we have what's in the brackets plus 90 equals 100. So what's in the brackets must give an answer of 10. So 10 is the number that we're looking for, so something divided by something equals 10. So there are lots of possible solutions here. We could have 20 divided by 2, or 30 divided by 3 makes 10 as well, and then 10 plus 90 is 100. we could have 40 divided by 4, 50 divided by 5, and so on. 8 friends share £434 equally between them. How much does each person receive? So when we have a total that's shared equally, we use division. So we just need to divide £434 by 8. We can use short division, and then remember, when we get a remainder, we can write 0.00 on the end. That gives us £54.25 for each person, and then we can check £54.25 times 8 should give a total of £434. Circle the number that is equal to 3/4. So we need to write 3/4 as a decimal. So if we remember our decimal place value, the first digit after the decimal point is the 10th digit, and the second digit after the decimal point is the 100th digit. Now we can't change 3/4 into tenths because 10 is not a multiple of 4, but we can change 3/4 into hundredths. 4 times 25 is 100, and 3 times 25 is 75. So because 3/4 is equivalent to 75 hundredths, that's 0.75. The second digit is the hundredths digit, but because we can only have one digit in each place value, the 7 gets pushed over to the left into our tenths column. Ryan collects 2 comics each week for a whole year. How many comics does he collect in a year? So we need to remember that there are 52 weeks in 1 year. And because he's collecting 2 comics for 52 weeks, we need to multiply 52 by 2. That gives us 104, so he collects 104 comics.